Hello everyone! In this video, I have collected absolutely all the most interesting facts, bugs and achievements from the new update. It will be incredibly interesting, so watch to the end. A bug with a rocket shell and acid immortal rocket. More recently, one player discovered an incredibly strange bug. If you dip a rocket projectile into acid and almost immediately pull it back out, the rocket completely loses its ability to explode. Yes, it stops detonating, as if the function of the explosion was cancelled by acid. But the most interesting thing is that she still keeps flying. Moreover, it can fly almost indefinitely until it completely dissolves from the acid. It looks like the rocket has become a ghostly projectile that violates all the laws of physics. Bug with the propeller, a rocket that chooses its path. Another player discovered another unexpected bug. If you shoot a rocket directly into the blade of the propeller, then after a collision its course completely breaks. It doesn't just deviate, but flies in a completely random, chaotic direction. Sometimes she goes straight up, sometimes back, sometimes spirals, as if she got her own intelligence and decided to fly anywhere but the right direction. It looks very impressive. The propeller seems to redirect the rocket by the force of the wind, but in fact this is a pure mistake of physics. Bug with parasite cap, the parasite that won't give up. Another strange bug has been linked to parasite cap. If you put a parasite cap on an NPC and then cut it completely, as in the video, the NPC, he will continue to live. But the strangest thing is that even without a head and without a parasite, we still hear the sounds of hats. It's like an invisible parasite is still around. It looks really creepy because the NPC walks around without a head and the sounds of the parasite continue to hiss as if it still controls the body. Perhaps the parasite cap leaves a trace in the NPC that remains active even after the item itself is destroyed. The Immortality bug is a flying NPC, and finally one of the funniest bugs that has already become a mini meme in the community. If you inject an NPC with a syringe of Immortality and then chop off his legs, he suddenly starts flying. Don't jump, don't slide, but fly. He hovers in the air, moves smoothly, and sometimes rises up, as if on invisible jetpacks. It feels like removing the legs activates some kind of strange anti-gravity effect that the developer didn't exactly plan for. In general, update 33.5 turned out to be not only intense, but also buggy in the best sense of the word. Write in the comments which bug surprised you the most, and should I take down another part?
The first secret fact looks both strange and very mysterious. For him, we need to put a couple of ordinary NPCs on the map and detonate a honey bomb next to them. When the NPCs become sticky, we open the tools, select any rope, and try to bind these NPCs. At this moment, the craziest thing appears. Blue textures and their hidden hitboxes begin to appear around the NPCs. It looks like the game is showing its insides by itself. It's probably a visual bug, but it looks too cool. Write in the comments whether you knew this secret or not. The second secret fact is related to the NPC robot and the Tesla coil. It's very simple, but effective. If you put the robot next to the switched-on Tesla, it immediately becomes noticeably stronger. Try it yourself. Install the robot, install the Tesla coil, and turn it on. You will see that the robot is worse for bullets, and even if it falls exhausted, electricity revives it. It really works, and it looks like the robot is getting a second wind. Great respect to the developers for such physics. I found the last secret fact just recently, but my friend said he had known about it for a long time. That's why I'm very interested to know if you knew or not. If you put any fruit and an atomic bomb into a nanoassembler and activate it, then at first glance you will get the most ordinary NPC. But it only seems so. If this NPC is activated, it will detonate just like a real bomb. It looks incredibly strange, as if the game turns fruits into live bombs. Absolutely crazy mechanics. If you like these secret facts, be sure to like them and write in the comments which fact surprised you the most.
Hey, guys. Today I'm going to show you something that many people thought was impossible. I was able to find a way to transfer all 6 cars from the highway map directly into a regular game. Yes, now they can be used as full-fledged objects, put in their own buildings, conduct experiments, and even arrange races. And now I will briefly tell you about each of these machines. The first one is Taxi. A bright yellow classic taxi, looks like a small city car. Lightweight, fast and perfect for urban atmosphere or small scenes. The second is Mustard. This is a more battered version of the car, painted in a dirty yellow color. It feels like she's been on the road for years, which makes her perfect for post-apocalyptic builds. The third is Melon car, a light compact car with a green logo. It looks as standard as possible, but that's why it's suitable for any kind of videos, from accidents to NPC plots. The fourth is Buggy, an orange off-road monster with huge wheels. It is designed for off-road driving, jumping, and stunts. Visually, it is one of the coolest cars from the highway. The fifth is White Buggy. This is the exact opposite of the orange version, white, neat, like an experimental model. It looks more technologically advanced and is perfect for scientific or secret laboratories. And the sixth is an old car. It was rusty and battered, as if it had been found in an abandoned garage. Perfect for disaster movies, horror movies, or any atmosphere of devastation. And yes, I've already successfully transferred all these machines into a full-fledged mod, and they work great in the game. If you want to download this mod, let's do this. I'll leave a download link as soon as I get 3,000 likes and 500 comments on this video. I think you can do it quickly.
And let's start with the first fact, which, in theory, should be a bug, but it looks so funny that it seems as if the developer specifically left this feature. If you put an NPC into the nanosembler with the Tesla coil turned on, and then activate the nanosembler itself, it's just crazy. The NPC starts behaving as if its physics has completely broken down. He starts flying around the map, spinning, bouncing off the walls, as if an atomic battery had exploded inside him. Sometimes he can fly straight up, as if he were sucked into some invisible vacuum, and he FLIs all the way to the clouds or even higher. I recommend trying it out for yourself. It's one of the funniest bugs I've seen lately. The second fact is even more interesting. It is related to the vat of acid item on the new highway map. This item behaves strangely, to put it mildly. If you try to push any other object on this map under the textures, it simply disappears. Everything is logical. It is under the map, so it is not visible. But once you do the same with vat of acid, the game literally breaks. This object remains visible under the map, overlaps texture layers, and looks like it doesn't obey the laws of physics in this map at all. It really feels like this object knows something about the highway that we don't know yet. Perhaps this is not a bug, but an Easter egg, or even an encrypted hint of a new hidden card mechanism. Be sure to write your theories in the comments. It seems to me that this subject may be the key to the future secret of the highway map. The third fact is related to the new item of clothing, the parasite cap. As we know, if you put this hat on an NPC, it's as if he gets infected with some kind of parasite. He starts walking erratically, moving as if he had his own will, and generally turns into a separate living organism. But there are 3 NPCs on which the parasite cap does not work at all. And this is a very important detail, because it shows how well the developer has thought through the interactions. The first NPC is Canned Tomato. If you try to put a hat on him, his glass head just cracks and breaks. It makes sense, because the parasite simply has nothing to suck on. The second NPC is a robot. Again, it is logical. The robot is not alive. There is no brain or nervous system inside, so no parasitic entity can control it. And the third NPC is a secret gray robot that can be obtained by mixing any fruit with an operate chip in a nano-assembler. This is a secret character, but even he is completely immune to the parasite cap. This is an incredible level of detail. The developer has thought through even such small things that most players will never notice. In the following fact, I want to show you something that really surprised me personally. We'll talk about what the new cars might look like, which, in my opinion, are almost guaranteed to appear in Update 34.0. And yes, you've already understood correctly, we're talking about cars from the highway map. On this map, they stand as a kind of background, but they are made in too much detail to be an ordinary decoration. These are Taxi, Mustard, and Buggy, 3 completely different cars in style, each with its own physics, shape, and even small elements that are visible only if you look at the model up close. I specially transferred them to the game as a separate mod in order to examine each of them from all sides, test how they look under normal conditions, and understand how well the developers have worked on these models, and as I expected, they are made at the level of a full-fledged transport. It has everything: clear proportions, individual layers, detailed textures, and most importantly, the feeling that these machines are ready for use. Seriously, it's like they were just temporarily hidden on the highway map until they add a normal way to get them. Personally, I like Mustard the most. It looks as stylish as possible, like it's a bit futuristic. Be sure to write in the comments which car you like the most, because I'm sure everyone will have different opinions. Now let's move on to the next interesting fact, and it's also related to the highway map. You don't even need to do anything complicated for this secret. All you need is just to select the eraser tool and pinch any mountains on the map with it, and then the magic begins. All the mountains, along with the cars, begin to be highlighted with a white outline. Thanks to this, we can observe what is happening outside the visible part of the map. Cars start moving behind the mountains even before they appear in the frame, and we see them in advance as if we are peeking at the mechanism of the map. It looks very strange, even a little creepy, because the cars are driving somewhere behind the textures, as if the map has its own hidden life. Who knows, perhaps this outline is not just a visual bug, but part of some yet-to-be-solved mystery related to the behavior of traffic on the highway. And finally, the next experiment that I decided to conduct is an attempt to use the camera to see what is behind the mountains. I take the camera object, activated, place it as close to the mountains as possible, and try to push it inside the rock. The idea was to see how cars behave behind the scenes as they drive along a hidden route before entering the map. To be honest, I was sure that no one had ever done this before, so the chance of seeing something secret was pretty big. But, unfortunately, the experiment failed. The camera cannot see what is behind the mountains. It seems to rest on an invisible layer and simply refuses to show what is hidden under the textures. It's a shame, of course, but this is also an important detail. It means that the developer has a clear system of restrictions that does not allow players to easily look behind the scenes of the map, but it's too early to get upset. There are still a lot of secrets ahead, and I'm sure that we will reveal more than one secret that the highway map hides. And now we come to the finale of this video. As you can see for yourself, the 33.5 update turned out to be much deeper than it seems at first glance. The bugs turn out to be not just bugs, but hints of hidden mechanics. Items that behave strangely may not be an accident at all, but part of a future update, and the car models hidden on the highway map look so elaborate that it's hard to believe they were added just like that. And the more I study this update, the more convinced I become that the developer is preparing something. There are too many oddities, coincidences, and small details. Perhaps a full-fledged transport system is waiting for us in Update 34.0. Perhaps there will be a new secret related to mountain textures, or the highway will turn into a separate mechanical ecosystem where cars will act as living objects. Anyway, this is just the beginning. The deeper we dig, the more secrets we find. So if you want me to keep looking for new bugs, Easter eggs, and hidden details, be sure to like and write your theories. I assure you, there is still a lot of tin ahead, and we will definitely get to the truth.
Hello everyone. Recently, I've seen two videos where the authors claim that the cars on the new highway map are not just decorations. According to them, these cars can be obtained as a separate item and even used as a full-fledged vehicle. To be honest, when I first saw these videos, I thought it was just a clickbait. But the deeper I dug in, the more I realized there was something to these theories. And today I decided to conduct my own investigation. Let's start with the main question. Why would a developer make such detailed car models at all if they just drive in the background and don't play any role? The models are really high quality. They have detailed headlights, body contours, reflections, and wheel shapes. This is not the level of a regular background texture. Such details are created only when the object is planned to be used in the main mechanics of the game. And that makes you think, In addition, if you look at Melon Playground updates over the past few years, you'll notice that the developer almost never adds random assets. If an item appears, it either has a function now, or it will appear in one of the next updates. This happened with the helicopter, with the advanced mods, with the food system, and now, it seems, with the cars. But that's not all. In a few comments, I noticed that people were writing an unexpected thing. If you slow down the game and zoom in, you'll notice that the car doesn't just have a flat texture, but a detailed multi-layered sprite with individual shadows, highlights, and body parts. For ordinary decorations, this level of detail is usually not done. Imagine if similar models had already been prepared for future use, for example, as an experimental vehicle that players could unlock through the item menu. It sounds like an impossible fantasy, but with the latest updates, it looks more and more like the truth. Today I want to check absolutely everything. Is it possible to stop a car intentionally? Does it react to physics, lasers, bombs, cables? Is it possible to catch her in a teleporter or nano-assembler? Are there any traces of these machines in the game files? Is it possible to call them through bugs? I will double-check each of the theories that are currently being discussed in the community. Some of them look very delusional, others are too plausible to ignore. And I want to find out with you. Is this an accident, or did the developer really leave us a huge secret right under our noses? So make yourself comfortable. Now we will spread these myths, check all the experiments, and try to understand if it is still possible to get a car directly into your inventory. Let's go! And after I looked at these cars carefully, I started to notice something strange. Firstly, their textures are noticeably more detailed than those of most ordinary objects in the game. It is clear that the developer has invested much more time and care in them, as if he had prepared them not just as a background, but as a full-fledged gameplay element. Secondly, if you pause the game at the moment when the car is passing nearby, you can see that its sprite consists of several layers at once: the body, glass, wheels. Why do so many details for the sake of a background? Melon Playground has never done this, and it already sounds like a serious clue. It was at this point that I began to think that cars were created not just as pictures running along the road, but as ready-made objects that, under certain conditions, could become available to the player. But what are these conditions? What needs to be done? I started checking the subscribers' theories. Someone wrote that a car can be intercepted if you put a wall of armor on the road. I tried it, and, of course, the car just rammed through everything and flew away. Others wrote that it was necessary to blow up the car exactly at the moment when it touches the edge of the map, but the explosion does not affect its passage at all. I even tried to put 10 bombs of different types at once, including the new ones from 33.5, and again nothing. The machine just ignores all the damage. The next theory sounded even crazier. Allegedly, if you put a Tesla coil next to it, and activate Rain of Blades from above, then with a rare coincidence the car will stop, and it can be paused and pulled out using a nano-assembler. I checked that, too, and of course nothing happened. But here's the important thing. While I was testing all these strange theories, I noticed one very important thing. When a car collides with an NPC, the effect doesn't look like a random death animation. The machine interacts with the NPC as a full-fledged object. The NPC repels realistically, the body flies at an angle, the blood shaders lie down as if the game calculates the collision separately, and not just triggers a pre-prepared effect. And that's what brought me back to the idea that machines are full-fledged physical objects programmed as pseudo-real, just blocked from interaction for now. Why does the developer do this? The answer is obvious. The machines are probably preparing for a major future upgrade. Perhaps these are prototypes of the future transport that the player will receive, but only when a new map or a new gameplay module is ready. And now the most interesting thing. Have you noticed that after update 33.5, the size of assets in the game folders has increased more than can be explained by one card and 5 bombs? That is, there is something else there. And if cars are not Easter eggs, but part of this invisible content, then the secret is already in the game. We just haven't found the right way to activate it yet. That is why I believe that this topic has not yet been fully disclosed. And my investigation doesn't end there, it's just the beginning. And now, after all these checks, analyses, and dozens of failed attempts, I can honestly say yes, I still couldn't activate the machines in the usual way. None of the theories I've seen have worked. No explosions, no Tesla coil, no Rain of Blades, no combinations of objects, it's all useless. And if we were talking about any other objects in the game, I would just conclude that this is just a decoration. But the situation with cars is completely different. They are too detailed, too alive for the usual background. They work on game physics, they interact with NPCs, they have a full-fledged sprite structure, and most importantly, they are located in the game files as separate objects. And now this is strange. Decorations don't do that. I couldn't stand it, and went deeper into the game's files, into the very folders that most players never open. And there was a real shock waiting for me. I found models of all 3 cars, and not just images. They are separate objects, with a complete structure, as if they can already be pulled into the game. It's just that Melon Playground itself doesn't spawn them yet. That is, they exist, but they are hidden. They are ready, but disabled. They are there, but they are not available to players. And then I had an idea that changed everything. If the game doesn't want to spawn these machines by itself, what if you force it to do it manually? I took the models, moved them to a separate mod pack, configured all the parameters, fixed the hitboxes, and connected them as full-fledged items. And yes, I managed to add cars directly to the game. They appear, they can be used, they can be spawned, moved, broken, interacted with just like with any other transport. I actually got the cars from update 33.5 in the form of real objects, and believe me, it just looks crazy. And now the most important thing. I want to post this mod for everyone, absolutely free, so that everyone can try what I've been working on for a few days. But there is one but. I want to see that you are really interested in this topic. I want to know that you want to continue investigations, secrets, Easter eggs, and new mods. Therefore, everything is fair and simple. As soon as there are 10,000 subscribers on the channel and 2,000 likes under this video, I will immediately upload the link to the mod in the comments. That's it. No donations, no conditions, just your support. In return, there are real cars from the 33.5 update, which you can use in Melon Playground within a few minutes after downloading. So if you want to see with your own eyes that cars are not just a backdrop, if you want to experience them in action and continue to dig into the secrets of the game with me, please like, subscribe, and write in the comments which theories I will test next. And that's where my investigation comes to an end. But the Melon Playground mystery machine is only picking up speed. See you in the next video.